My name is Nick Harbour. I'm a data scientist at E.ON. At least I have been for the last few years. I've moved this week into a new role, which is an emerging technology lead role. But my interest is still in Dataiku and how it can benefit E.ON. Is that better? Thank you. So a little bit about E.ON as we get started. So we are one of the larger energy suppliers in the UK. We're the largest privately owned energy supplier across Europe as a group. We have just under 10k employees in the UK, approximately 9 million customers for gas and electricity, which is our traditional core business that we've been engaged in since the days of privatisation, or sorry, deregulation of the energy market. The space that we're moving into now as a company is more to do with solutions and decarbonisation. So we sell products such as air source heat pumps, solar panels, batteries, EV chargers, etc. And we advertise those to our customers to help them reduce their energy bills, but also help them to decarbonise. We've just launched a 15-year partnership as well with the City of Coventry to transform the city's approach to carbon reduction and help people save money. So that's our sort of strategic direction for the future: is solutions, decarbonisation, and gas and electricity still at the heart of it, but more of a focus on products. Myself, over 20 years experience working with data analytics in some form or another within E.ON. I've had many, many roles in that time, and I won't go through them all. I worked until this week as part of the data and AI team at E.ON. Moved into my new role on Monday, and I've been supporting colleagues across the business with data science and AI and helping them get more value and quicker time to value as well out of the data. So, winding the clock back a couple of years, I had one of the data managers come to me, smart analytics manager, with a particular problem that he had, and that was he had more use cases, more business problems to solve than he could possibly put through with the people that he had available to him. He couldn't recruit any more people because he couldn't find people with the right skills. So we kind of turned that business problem on its head, as it were. So instead of trying to recruit more people who can do Python programming and Scala and R and Java, etc., take the people that we've got who've got excellent domain knowledge, understand our data, and give them the tools to do the job without needing to be able to write code. In the past, we've tried to bring in expertise from outside. We've worked with consultancies who have provided data scientists who are very good and very knowledgeable when it comes to the technical side, but they don't have the knowledge and experience in our data, which means it takes them a long time to get up to speed and understand our data, understand our business processes. And that can slow down and delay the delivery of a machine learning or AI project. So why did we choose Dataiku? We looked at several options before settling on Dataiku. We've got some fans in the audience, some of my colleagues here today. And there's some feedback here that they've provided on how they have found the experience of using Dataiku. And generally, the feedback has been it's the ease in the ability to create models through a click interface rather than having to write code. There's still the functionality to write Python if you want to. You can do that within the tool, but this makes it a lot easier to bring people in, train them up on a specific tool, and let them to continue developing their skills in that area. We can share workloads between analysts. It's quite possible to collaborate within Dataiku, so you can, if somebody is particularly good at doing the data transformation steps, you can have them work on that part of the project. Somebody else can do the machine learning model training. We can reuse assets created by another data scientist, reuse data sets, etc. And that saves time when developing new projects as well. We can start projects more quickly. we can also deliver those projects much more quickly as well. In the past, where we've had to do things in code, it can take a long time. With Dataiku, the turnaround time is much reduced. So rather than months, we're talking maybe weeks. So a little bit about our journey. After wind the clock back further than this, we did a 12-month trial proof of concept piece using the business edition of Dataiku initially. That went very well. We had 10 users in that platform within our own Microsoft Azure subscription. That was with our smart intelligence team. They were able to prove the value and realize very quickly that it was the tool, definitely the tool for them. In August of this year, we signed a contract with Dataiku to move to their software as a service offering. So rather than have Dataiku running on virtual machines or Kubernetes clusters in our own Azure subscription, we're making use of the software as a service platform Dataiku provide to us. And we're in the process now of migrating across and configuring that system so that we can onboard the users and get them productive. We've expanded our user base from 10 to 25 users, and we've branched out from just the smart intelligence team, brought users in from HR, obligation delivery, and other areas so that they can make use of this tool as well. So we hope to have everything completed configuration-wise by the end of this month, and then end of this month, early December, we can start having our teams productive in there and delivering projects. So I'm going to talk about our initial use case, our example use case here, which was to do with smart meter installations, and specifically the problem whereby a job is booked but then gets cancelled on the day for technical or other reasons. These are aborted jobs where a technician has turned up to do the installation but can't do it for one reason or another. And there are many reasons why that might be. It can be simple things such as there's nowhere to park on site. The meter might not be in an accessible location. It might be up high, it might be locked in a cupboard in a basement, and the job then has to get cancelled and rebooked. And each one of these appointments costs us as a business between £100 and £200 a time. So there are hundreds of these that potentially can get cancelled within a week. The result of that is that the aborted job has to be rebooked for another time and date. It's additional cost for us as a company. The customer is less dissatisfied as well because we've promised them that we're going to fit the smart meter on a certain day. That hasn't happened for unforeseen reasons, and they've got to potentially have another day off work or some other inconvenience to have another meter fitted. So we book a new job, additional costs for that, and then hope that that one goes ahead without any further problems. So where we want to get to is where a job is assigned to the right person with the right skills in the right area to carry out the installation on the first attempt. Increased customer satisfaction as a result and less cost to us as a business. We have a high number of different abort reasons, as I mentioned. The one that is of particular interest to us and was our initial proof of concept was around asbestos. So asbestos is a hazardous substance, as I'm sure you're aware. And we have to have specially trained meter fitters to tackle that problem, take the old meter out, put a new one in. And that asbestos can be a whole board behind the meter, or it can be just a label on the meter that contains asbestos, and that can mean that the installation job can't go ahead. All of these abort reasons together, we think we can save about 850k in the first 12 months as a result of using Dataiku to tackle this problem. We've got other use cases lined up as well. We've got an ever-growing backlog. And the more that I demonstrate the product to people and the capabilities, the more of these we get. So I've recently done another proof of concept using image detection and classification, looking at piping and instrumentation diagrams. And we've been able to pull out the individual components within those diagrams so that we can validate what's on the diagram against the asset register that we've got in an energy centre. So, what are our key lessons learned from the experience so far? First and foremost, and this is something Serena mentioned first thing this morning, value. It can be difficult to get investment in new technology. People are naturally resistant to spending money when they can't see a benefit. So if you're considering implementing Dataiku, I would strongly suggest that you build a business case based on value. Value can be many things. It can be money, it can be saving money, and reducing revenue leakage, like with the aborted smart meter installations. It can be monetizing the output so that you can generate additional income. Value can also be increased customer satisfaction. It can be better health and safety. Any of those things can be considered as value. I would say do a proof of concept, definitely. That really helped us to build a business case and prove that it was the right technology for us. We can deliver on what we expect to. And also, make sure you use your own data in that proof of concept. It's very easy to sort of use a vanilla data set to experiment with a tool. But as we're all probably aware, we're all data people here, those data sets are never reflective of the real world. Our own data has problems, data quality issues. Sometimes we're missing certain key pieces of information. So it's good to do a proof of concept with your own data. Dashboard Envy, or I Want One of Those, is a great way to get people interested in the project, in the product. So the more you take the product to the stakeholders and demonstrate it, the more interest it generates and the more ideas it generates as well. And people will take those, the capabilities away, have a think about them for a few weeks, come back to you and say, can we use it to do X, Y, or Z? And then you can go off and explore those additional use cases. Actionable intelligence, and this is really key. So for the asbestos aborts, there was a dashboard that was put together which helped to prioritize those appointments based on their risk score. So each smart meter appointment that we looked at had a risk score around the presence of asbestos in the property. And we could order those by that percentage risk to get a better understanding of where we might need to change the way that we handle each of those appointments. Excuse me. The other thing to say on that as well is it's important to have the right people in place to take action on your output from your model. So for asbestos, you need specially trained meter engineers to go in and remove that safely and put in a new smart meter. So if you haven't got the people in place to do that, you won't realise the value. You'll have the predictive capability, but you won't be able to do anything about it. And that's the same with anything that you're delivering as an output. You must be able to take action on it to realise the value. So for us, that's starting those conversations around, can we get more people trained up to deal safely with asbestos removal? Can we change our processes rather in the contact centres to have a different conversation at the start of that process and maybe change the direction of this goes? Also doing the analysis, we got a lot of insight out of the feature importances that are generated via the model. And that revealed things that we didn't know before. And it's a very useful tool if you've not explored it already. So, for example, the year in which the house was built is a key indicator for us as to whether there is likely to be asbestos in the property. And that makes sense because, there was a period of time when it was very commonly used. That has now ended, so more modern properties you won't find it, older properties you will. There are also geographic indicators in the data. So there are certain areas of the country where it's more likely to have been used in the past in construction, which was something we didn't know before. So this has thrown up new insight as well as enabling us to do the predictive analytics itself. And my last point on this would be to make use of Dataiku and the support that they offer in terms of implementing the solution, deploying it, rolling out to the business, demonstrating their product to your key stakeholders so that they can get an understanding of what it does, what it looks like, how it works, and also the training aspect. I think it's very important for a tool such as this that you have people who are trained in the use. It's great to put these tools in the hands of people who can't code and enable them and allow them to get on with the job and use their domain knowledge and experience to provide the insight. But there are risks inherent in building a machine learning model. So anyone who's ever trained the model will know that there are risks around overfitting. There are problems such as the curse of dimensionality and so forth. And if people have a basic understanding first, when they go into this and start using it, and how they can check these things, that will save you the rework and the potential pitfalls that can come about. And that is one of the challenges you might get as well if you're thinking of implementing Dataiku for the first time. People might challenge that and say, well, it's too risky. We don't want to put data science tools in the hand of non-coders, non-IT people, non-data scientists. But you can mitigate for that through training and coaching and through mentoring as well. Thank you, and that's everything I have. I hope that's been useful to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.